Picture this. You're on the couch after a long day, and here comes your furry best friend, tail going a mile a minute, ready to plant a big, wet lick right on your face. It's a scene millions of us dog owners know and, well, mostly love. But have you ever wondered what it actually means? I mean, it's a daily ritual for so many of us, right? But if you really stop and think about it, why? Why does your dog lick your face or your hands or even your feet? What is actually going through their head when they do that? You know, our immediate human reaction is pretty simple. We think, oh, doggy kisses. We see it as pure love, the clearest sign of affection they can give. And honestly, a lot of the time, that's exactly what it is. But it's not always the whole story. So let's get into it. A dog's lick isn't just this simple action. It's one of their main forms of communication. It's a behavior that is absolutely packed with meaning, and we're going to unpack it.
If we really want to understand our dogs, we've got to learn to speak their language. So let's decode those licks. We're going to break down the 6 main reasons why your dog is so obsessed with licking you.
All right, here's the lexicon. We're going to cover everything from simple affection and bonding, to seeking attention, to taste and smell, all the way to self-soothing, habit, and even submissive behaviors. Let's jump right into the first one. Okay, first up, the one we all hope for, pure affection and bonding. And yeah, this is the most common and straightforward reason. It all starts when they're puppies, licking their mom and their litter mates as a way to bond. So yes, when your dog gives you those gentle licks, it can absolutely be their way of saying, I love you. But, you know, sometimes it's a bit more calculated. Your dog is incredibly smart. They learn really fast that a lick almost always gets a reaction from you. A pet, a laugh, even a little stop it, and a gentle push away. That's still attention. And once they figure out that licking works, well, it can become their go-to move to get you to notice them. Next up, and this one's kind of funny, you just have to remember that dogs explore their entire world through taste and smell. So reason number 3 is simple. You might just taste interesting. Seriously, the salt on your skin after a workout, or the lingering smell of that sandwich you ate for lunch, that's all fascinating data to them. Now, licking isn't always about you. It can be a really powerful way for a dog to calm themselves down. The physical act of licking actually releases endorphins, which are like natural mood boosters. Think of it as their built-in coping mechanism for stress. It's usually healthy, but it's also something to keep an eye on if it becomes constant. And this is where things can start to connect. What might have started as a way to get your attention or to self-soothe can just become a habit. If licking you has always been allowed and it's something they do over and over again, it can become an ingrained part of their daily routine, just like waiting by the food bowl at dinner time. And finally, number 6, licking can be a clear signal of submission or respect. In a wolf pack, a lower-ranking member will often lick a more dominant one. So that lick might just be your dog's way of saying, hey, I know you're the boss and I respect that. You might notice this more often in younger or more nervous dogs. So, we've covered the why, which is super interesting. But it's also really, really important to know when this totally normal behavior crosses a line and becomes a problem. So now let's talk about the red flags every dog owner should be watching for. Red flag number 1 is when the licking becomes excessive. And I'm not talking about a happy greeting when you walk in the door. This is constant, almost obsessive licking that gets in the way of normal life. This can often be a sign of some serious underlying anxiety, boredom, or stress that really needs to be addressed. Okay, next, pay close attention to what they're licking. If your dog suddenly starts obsessively licking the floor, the walls, or a piece of furniture, it's definitely time to investigate. That kind of behavior can point to behavioral issues and sometimes even underlying medical problems. Another huge red flag is when all that licking is directed at themselves. If you notice your dog is constantly licking or chewing one specific spot on their body, like a paw or their side, it's often a clear signal that something hurts. It could be anything from skin irritation and allergies to joint pain. Now, when some of these signs start to pile up, they can point to compulsive behavior. That self-soothing thing we talked about, it can get out of control. If your dog literally cannot seem to stop licking to the point where they're causing raw spots or it's interfering with their life, it's moved way beyond a quirk. It's a real behavioral issue that needs your attention. Okay, so what if you've identified that the licking is in fact a bit much? What do you do now? Well, the good news is you can absolutely manage it. Let's turn all this new understanding into an actionable toolkit. Let's walk through this process. First, and this is key, stop reinforcing it. The next time they start licking, don't pet them or laugh. Just calmly get up and walk away for a moment. Second, redirect that impulse. When they start to lick, offer them a puzzle toy or start a game of fetch. Third, up their mental and physical stimulation. A tired, engaged dog is a happy dog. Fourth, set clear boundaries and be consistent. And finally, if you think anxiety is the real culprit, focus on creating a calm, predictable, and safe routine for them.
It's also so important to avoid some common mistakes. Never punish your dog for licking. It just creates more confusion and stress. Don't ignore the early signs of excessive licking, hoping it'll go away. And above all, avoid inconsistent rules. Your dog thrives on knowing what to expect.
So, as we wrap this up, the real takeaway here is about learning a whole new way to listen to your dog. They aren't just licking you randomly. They are trying to communicate something important to you in one of the only ways they know how.
So here's the key idea. The next time your dog comes up to lick you, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what are they trying to tell me right now? Is this love? Are they bored? Are they feeling stressed? The context of the situation is everything.
Because that lick on your cheek, yeah, it might be pure, simple love. Or it might be something more. And once you start to understand the language behind the lick, you're going to understand your best friend better than ever before. So the real question is, what is your dog telling you?